right there, maybe?
I'm getting washed out.
Alright, so today's video. What's tasty, fam, and delicious here? This guy. Boom. Today's video, we are going inside of the project of PYROMATIC, which is one of the first 2 songs that I completed on my 52 songs in a year challenge. I've gotten really positive feedback on this one, and I've been asked by multiple people now that I should go inside of the project and show what I did. Hopefully I can explain some of it. I actually did this track probably a month and a half ago, so I don't know how well my explanation of the things inside of here are gonna be. So let's just jump on into it and get started. So right off the bat, we see we have 86 tracks. I'm just kind of gonna take it in chunks of like intro into a drop into, so just step by step like that. Might not go through the second because it's pretty much the same thing, and then into the outro. So starting off, we're gonna come to the beginning here. And play that. So this is a preset. I think I adjusted some of it. So it's this mixed with this. And then this as well. Just a single bounce. So as those come in, we start off with that and just a Leviathan impact with like bongo and a wood block, both Leviathan. Then these have some delay on them, and Valhalla Room also into Leviathan atmosphere. Just make sure if you're doing this, that your atmospheres and everything are in the same key as everything else. That's pretty self-explanatory. So then this pluck comes in. It's pretty basic. The envelope hits a level, which gives it a little bit more of a transient than just having the sine wave. Then you make it pretty wide, and then ping pong delaying in between every eighth of a bar. It makes it progress further, because without it, it feels like it kind of drags on. And then also I have these little fills from Leviathan as well that are faded in and out right before this pad progression comes in. And that's these chords here that are muted. Now we're going into the pre-drop where we have sweeps. One's from Leviathan, then I comboed it with a sweep from Kashmir. Some ultra tension, and also it goes into this, which is part of the lead. So on this lead, I made it myself. It took a lot of plug and play while making the lead to get this portion just right. This is the biggest struggle I think I had. Yeah, it's just a synced sawtooth wave. It detunes a little bit with every pluck, and the cutoff as well. And the way I faded that into, faded into it is I just had Endless Smile
on it, and it just starts high, then goes low. But I also did a low cut into it. Processing on it, you just cut the lows with an EQ, a little bit of widening. The endless smile that I automated, and then a little bit of sausage fattener to, it's a little weak without it. So with it, it just gets a little, gets nice and fat for the drop. So for the drop, or right before the drop, this little fill here, it has a half bar with this still going. Right before the kick, so it's, and then this little fill, so kick before that fill. And I also added this slide. And the main thing you probably hear is this. And then also this little sweep too. This little sweep helps. So going into the drop, I'm going to let it play through, and then I'll go back and evaluate it a little bit more. So, right when it starts, we have these chord stabs that are pretty huge. So this is preset, kind of an organy. I can't tell you where this preset came from because it's been too long, but that doesn't matter. The whole thing about you not having to recreate the wheel and having presets definitely helps me get my ideas laid out, and then I can go back through and adjust the presets accordingly, which took a long time on this track. So I have this one's mine. Cut it off, make it wide. The detunement's pretty decent on it with a little bit of white noise to give it some high energy. Then a C2 layer. See, this is literally just a saw wave that is on the C2, which helps. A little bit of white noise. A little bit different of a white noise than the last one too. And also, I made this a while before this. Sine wave that is 2 below. So that's where those chord stabs come in. This is one of the more interesting parts of the track, which is this lead. This section here started out as samples, and I put bass samples, like one-shots, and I wrote it out, and I'd be like, boop, 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 and then I cut up the samples and organized them in the way that sounded pretty cool. Then I imitated that through MIDI, and just, I think I started out with a regular sawtooth wave, so it sounded kind of bad, but I made it wider and fatter and layered it with different sounds and came up with this line. So it's pretty basic. It's just on this root note of E, because this song is in E minor, and then it slides up and down and is a pretty cool syncopation between that and. And then these are just spread out between octaves, so just I think they're up and down octaves with the presets. Having that call and response sounds pretty decent between obviously the chord stabs and the rest. So and have the call and response. Okay, so reverse snare into the snare that I have. And these are all Leviathan samples, surprise. So, let's bring it back here. This is the first little 8 bars. It's without those hi-hats. Kicks mix pretty well, and I can mix most of the track around the kick if I have it at -8. It mixes pretty decent for me. You might find different results doing other things. Into this as well. It's just a layered clap with a tuned snare that I definitely got from Splice. Processing is just a little bit of reverb on that one, and this one's just EQ'd, and they're both EQ'd to the extent that what makes them sound best or better. After it just kick snares and reverse snares. Okay. We get into this turnaround that has the chords doing a cool thing with them, and it goes together like so. I took this first portion of the chords, and those are regularly sidechained, and it was actually easier to just double all of these tracks onto a second bus. Then the second bus has a different sidechain on them to an 1/8 because it gets double timed here, and then it just kicks snares for this. So it's all of this actually. Even I duplicated the sub to give that different sidechain time as well. So it's an 1/8 instead, which pumps it and makes it have a little bit more energy going into the next portion. Oh, there's a good one too. It's just this little reverse, and there is a vocal. Just put 'em up. It's just put 'em up. EQ'd a little bit on certain areas. Just put 'em up. Make it sound kind of cool. Gives the people something to be like, to say just before it goes into the next portion, where I add the hi-hats in for some more energy. And this is, let's see here, a little bit widened, side-chained to the kick. But like I said, reverse snare into that snare, then leaving the hi-hat out gives it that little bit of relief that adds a little bit of character to it. So it's not just the hi-hats rolling all the way through. I didn't explain this before getting to that part, but this is running through the whole thing with that side-chained and reverbed. Turn around right here. Leads in the next section. And also, before every 4 bars, I have this slide that sucks you into the next section. You kind of have to pay attention to that, but it really does. It's the small things that count, right? So after that, just put them up. I run through the same progression again, except with the hi-hats. So the second time around, the turnaround is a saw. It's like a big super saw type. It's a serum, low pass on a little bit of the highs on the B, which is up a semitone, or up an octave, sorry, not a semitone. And the silent, this actually is from a sound bake from Evo Sounds. I think I adjusted the filter actually a little bit on it, and I think the octaves on some of these too, I just made it all the 0 octave. And same thing here, I doubled those 2 tracks and made it 8th time for when the timing of these kicks and snares go. Oh, right here as well, on this turnaround I have the same that was right before the drop. It's a little bit of familiarity for the people to listen to. Back into this. Only difference on this turnaround is it's the same as that first one, but I added this little, and I made that just a, forgot how I made it, little plucky on the cutoff, sidechained a little bit so it doesn't interfere fully, and it's going back and forth between left and right with tremolo and a little bit of widening, so it stuck out a little bit more and you could hear it, because without it you couldn't hear it as well. Then going into the last one, plays the same thing, except right there I have it do a low cut up to add a little bit of pulling into this verse here. Also a reversed, so it goes into this, and I reversed it with some reverb, and you can hear that, and it also pulls you into the next section here. Sweeps down again. I used a flutter because it sounded a little bit cooler going into it. These horn stabs, I don't know what they're from, but I added a bunch of reverb on it with long decay, sausage fattener to make it a little bit thicker, thick like that nice booty, and just have this here. This is I think I made this. I definitely did. Kind of goes on the root note, like just a droning bass chord. And this preset here, it's the same plucking chord, or same pluck as the intro right here, except it had a little bit more adjustments to it. Oh, it's right here. So if I solo this and I'll unmute it, it's pretty much the same thing that I explained in the intro, added with all this energy builder. These horns are also comboed with some like heavy percussion, like some really cool cinematic type. And it sounds really good together. So that I was like, oh, this would sound sick. I was hanging out with my brother, and I was like, you know what would be super sick right here? Just some huge horns. And he's like, yeah, that would sound dope. So I put the horns in and added this really cool low percussion after it, because it just needed that epicness. So together it just created this. Same atmosphere as the intro. White noise going into this progression. So I took those droning chords and I duplicated it, but this time I was doing a progression with them that followed this progression, which was also based off of, voila, this progression here that I used in the pad intro. So I copied those here, and I think I made the chords a little bit wider, added a note or two. But this preset I made myself. This is from a Vandalism pack, these wavetables, but taking different things. This is to the global. It's on an envelope at quarter, and it is to the, I know it's to the master tune, guarantee it, yep. Just put it to the master tune, and it sucks from 7 up, or it goes from 7 up, which makes it sound like those future Don Diablo chords. Then this here is triggered to the rate of the cutoff. So this triggers the rate of the filter here. It starts at 16, then it will go back to an 1/8 point here. This macro is to what? Oh, the cutoff. Okay, that makes sense. And then I automated that macro up, so it gets a little bit more energy as it builds into this next portion where I add the kick and the rest with the white noise that comes up into the same thing here, except with the kick it adds a lot more momentum to it. Same pads and chords. I have thickened up the chords right here with another layer. It's a lower layer, but it doesn't interfere with this. And then this also has the same automation, same automation. So it'll go back to an 1/8 pluck at the end of those 4 bars. And then I did the same automation here. I think I took the preset, then just did some different chords with it and altered the cutoff, and I EQ'd it differently probably as well. Goes from here. Kick and snare. This atmosphere is going through. I'm automating the cutoff up. Then I repeat the chords here. And I start fading in the lead again. And I pitch the lead up. Back into the drop. Oh, you know, something I didn't mention is that the snare and stuff also follows on this turnaround into the next portion. The snare follows this chord, or the strings. So it goes bap, 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 same timing as the chords here. And doing that makes you, it emphasizes the chords right there. So you mainly hear the chords, or those strings, not the chords, sorry. And yeah, it just does that drop again, and then going into this outro. Same thing happens with the cutoff going back up, except now I have those chords back in here. Except the cutoff is a little bit less on the automation here, and it's going down. And then obviously that pluck goes into it. the atmosphere, again, added. Then yeah, just has that kick going. It follows into it, except the second track with the kick is EQ'd differently from where the kick was before. So I took out some of that primary portion of the kick. It's a little bit quieter, this kick, compared to that. Because you're going into the outro of the song, and you don't need it to be as high of in energy as, obviously, the drop. Or the kick goes into the regular kick for a little bit of energy, and then you want to build it up, break it down a little bit, and then explode heavy with all of your energy. And right before the drops on each of them, Armin van Buuren gave me on his masterclass, hey, just decrease the volume a little bit on the master right before the drop, and the people know it's coming, which you kind of can feel. It gets a little bit quieter right before the drop on a lot of songs, actually. Not a whole lot to go over.
I guess that's really all I have for breaking down PYROMATIC, which has been getting a lot of positive feedback, and I'm very happy you guys enjoy it. I hope you enjoy more of what's to come from me, and yeah. If you like this video, smash like. It would mean the world to me if you smash like. So please smash a like. If you made it this far in the video, comment down below coffee, if you like coffee as much as I. Hit that subscribe button and the notification bell to be notified whenever I post a video like this one, or other things that I am doing for my 52 songs in a year challenge, which stay tuned because I'm doing tracks every week for the whole year. I just actually put out my third track, which is What's Lost. If you haven't heard it, it's a freaking awesome banger. It's the instrumental right now. I hope to get some vocals on it. So hey, if you do vocals and you're watching this and you listen to the song and you like the song and it inspires you, if you do lyrics to the song, I would love to collab with you on that song. That would be super cool. I'm trying to write lyrics and find lyrics to it myself, so hopefully down the line I can put lyrics on it and do the vocal mix of it. But yeah, thank you for watching. I don't have my bucket hat right now, which is sad, but anyways, I hope you enjoyed the breakdown of my track PYROMATIC. All of my other socials are in the description down below if you would like to follow me. I hope everybody has an awesome day, and yeah, keep it tasty, fam. It's been delicious. Peace.